Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show. Today, episode 247. It is Friday, January 15th, 2021. It is a new year, and it's good to be back. I'm your host, Kellen. With me, Tim. Tim, say hi.
Hey guys, what is up? Tim here.
So yeah, we haven't done a show in a month. The last one we did, we just gave a bunch of stuff away.
That was cool.
We just handed everyone prizes, sort of as a holiday special. And it feels good to be back though. Nothing has happened since we've been off air, but like rumors and leaks for the Galaxy S21 and that sort of thing. But those are official now, so we don't have to talk about rumors and leaks, which is nice because rumors and leaks on a talk show sort of thing are, just gonna be honest here, pretty goddamn boring. So I'm glad we can talk about the official devices. Anyway, so on this show we'll talk a lot about that S21 stuff. There's new Galaxy Buds Pro as well. Google and Fitbit have some news that they might have jumped the gun on a little bit. The CES happened this week. There was actually a CES.
Right.
Yeah, no in-person CES, but there was a CES. And then, of course, we will end the show with trivia. Trivia is back once again. If you're new around here, we do trivia at the end of every show. We run through our topics and talk about stuff. And then to thank you for hanging around through all of that, we do trivia. We have 5 questions. We'll let 5 people win. And we're just giving away $10 in Google Play credit to everyone this week because it's pretty simple. Pretty simple stuff. Are we telling them the theme of this one? Because there is a little bit of a theme here.
There's totally a theme. This week's theme is the Galaxy S21 to celebrate the official launch of the device. So if you know your Galaxy S21 trivia, then you'll do very well today.
Should do well then. So yeah, we'll get to that at the end of the show. 5 questions, 5 winners, $10 in Google Play credit to everyone. But let's talk Galaxy S21. It's official. The phones, the family, they were announced yesterday. January 14th was the unpack day. Little confession, I don't think I actually fired up the live stream of it. I don't know if you did.
Nope.
And I only bring that up because we had a bunch of the materials, under embargo or whatever. And so we're getting ready and Tim and I are posting and he's writing and I'm sharing whatever we're doing, right? There's lots to cover. So oftentimes when these events happen, this is a normal thing, I should say. Like we don't actually get to watch a lot of the events that happen because we're writing all of the stuff happening at the event. So yesterday, I think though, I don't know that I have any idea what happened yesterday because we were
not
just
a clue.
Constantly putting out stuff. But they put a video out today, I think that was like a behind the scenes of how they constructed their like virtual. And anyway, I might take a look at that so I know what happened. The phones are official though. So we have Galaxy S21, S21 Plus, S21 Ultra. You guys know what they look like. They have this sort of Samsung-y design with the hole punch front camera, big displays, edge to edge, and then you flip to the back and they still look very much Samsung-y, but they have this special corner cutout where the camera housing is. It sort of highlights that rather than being just a hump that they've done for a couple years that every other manufacturer sort of copied. They've kind of made it a part of the design more so than ever, and I think they did a nice job. I would show you it. Like normally I would hold up and be like, look, we don't have any of these phones. I know if you're a long-time listener, you know that we don't ever get anything from Samsung. So just envision me holding up. Here it is right here. There's a camera hump right there, I think. Anyway, we have orders in. So, we'll get ours, way after everyone, of course. So if you care about our opinions, they will be much later than everyone's. Thank you, Samsung. Tim will have an S21 Ultra at some point. I will have a regular S21. This is kind of what we did last year. I went regular S20, you went S20 Ultra. So we kind of battled from the bottom to the top. We skipped the Plus, even though I think that was probably the most popular model just because it fit in between. We skipped that. So if you want those. So the phones this year, I think one of the big takeaways is that they're cheaper than last year's models. So they upgraded some stuff, definitely cut a bunch of stuff, which we will talk about, all the stuff that they cut. And then they changed the design. So it's one of those years where I don't know that this is a big upgrade year from the 20 to the 21. But what is kind of cool is that there is a price reduction. So $799 is the starting point for the S21. Last year, the S20 started at $1,000. For comparison to also another device from last year, the S20 FE was $699, right? I know it's been discounted heavily, but so this is only $100 more than the S20 FE, which is kind of crazy. It is the regular S21. Again, we'll talk about some of the stuff they cut, but it is plastic on the back, so I don't if that bugs you. $999 then for the S21 Plus. Last year, I think it was $1,200, and then the Ultra is $1,199. And last year it was $1,399, I guess. Yeah, because they all received a $200 price cut versus last year. So that's cool. We love price drops and things. Let's see what else. I mean, I don't really want to run through specs because we've talked about these a lot, but these are running Snapdragon 888 processors, so the newest from Qualcomm. The display sizes compared to last year, pretty much the same. If we want to start talking about some of these cuts, though, the displays are kind of number one, right? Last year, everything got a quad HD and 120 hertz. Now, the 120 hertz refresh rates only did 1080p. So if you wanted to jump up to quad HD, you went down to 60 hertz. So this year, instead of dealing with that and giving everyone 120 hertz quad HD, they just cut quad HD. And these are 1080p in the S21 and S21 Plus, both 120 hertz. And then the Ultra, it does do 120 quad HD, right? Or is it limited to full HD?
What the
120 hertz? I know it is a quad HD display, but does it do 120 hertz at quad HD?
Don't think so. I think that would have been major news.
Okay, so then apparently they're still limiting that, but it does go full quad HD, right? Like if you want it to, it just drops
some people
back
are
to
saying
60.
that the S21 Ultra does do quad HD up to 120. I'm not sure, right? We don't have the phone, and it wasn't something they specifically mentioned in the press release. So
Yeah, I wish I could confirm that with you, but again, I haven't heard from Samsung in about 7 years. So
if people know, that's fine. We'll just have to figure it out later.
people are saying it does. I will take
good.
everyone's word for it because they've probably read other people's stuff that have talked about that. So that's great. So the Ultra 120 hertz at quad HD.
Nice.
But yeah, the other two they max out at 1080p. Some other things in here, like storage and RAM. So we're starting at 128 gig, which was the same as last year, and we're going up to 512 if you want it in the Ultra. And the Ultra has 12 gig RAM or 16 gig RAM, but the Plus and the regular 21 top out at 8 gig. Whereas last year, you got 12 gig in the US with 5G no matter what. This year, 8 gig RAM. I don't think that's going to matter that much. Like the Snapdragon 88 is going to be powerful. I think performance is going to be good. But if you're, the super multitasking guy, maybe 8 gig RAM isn't enough for you. And you don't have an option to choose 12. Like you can't double the storage and get more RAM like they've done in the past. It's just 128 or 256 gig storage and only 8 gig RAM. The other thing to point out there is no SD card slot. So I think this is the first time, I'm pretty sure, since the Galaxy S6. So it's been several years, but they've cut the SD card slot again. So if 128 gig, you don't think that's going to be enough, you might want to fork out for 256 if you can. Kind of frustrating there. A lot of people like SD cards still. I think they transfer them from phone to phone, particularly if you're like a Samsung guy. You could just keep moving it from phone to phone. So there's a cut. So display cut, SD card cut, RAM cut. One other thing, the S21 it does have a plastic back. I mentioned that. The S21 Plus and Ultra have glass backs. This is one of those things where you go, is that big a deal? Like
yes,
I'm one of those.
Is.
Yeah, see, like, so like for you, it is. For me, well, I guess I shouldn't say for me, it doesn't matter, because it's certainly in my mind that if you're paying a lot for a flagship level phone, glass is what we expect, even though glass sucks and it cracks and you have to take special care of it in plastic. It is in my mind that this probably is a downgrade because, and I haven't touched it, but I'm assuming it's just going to feel like plastic. I mean, there's nice plastic and bad plastic, like OnePlus and their cheap phones is using really bad, cheap feeling plastic. I hope this feels like good plastic, if that is a thing. So yeah, but you feel like it's a downgrade.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say downgrade, but then again, I have to remind myself that it's a very cheap. This is a cheap phone at $800, and so the plastic makes total sense to me. For being just so cheap, it makes sense that they just have plastic and not glass, and like a nice smoothed, etched, or like frosted glass or something. It's a cheap phone, so they had to make some cuts. No big deal. I mean, if you want a good phone, you're just gonna have to spend $1,200 just to get some glass. So the phones are so weird now, especially Samsung. Running through your list, man, yesterday of the things they cut. The true Samsung fans, and I know there's a few out there, especially with the RAM, like weird places to make cuts, right? Like we might not ever know what the true monetary difference is between 8 gig RAM and 12 gig RAM, or 256 gig storage versus 128. But those are the things that like OnePlus would just, even for their cheaper phones, it's like, okay, let's just do 256. Or there's some other companies that just do 256. It's not even a question. So it's just kind of weird places that Samsung decides to do things, like the MST, and Samsung just doing some weird stuff. But just so everyone knows, $799. This is a cheap phone.
It's so funny how we've come to that, where $799, we're like, that actually seems like a decent value, but $800 is still a lot of money for a phone. I see somebody saying the Pixel 5 is plastic, and Burtser. The Pixel 5 is not plastic.
It's not plastic.
It's metal, but it's coated in a whole bunch of plastic, so it does kind of feel like plastic. So in a way,
it feels so good, man.
It does feel really good. So I don't know what this one feels like. I'm assuming it's going to feel okay, but that is just one of those things. The S21 Plus and S21 have the same exact camera setup this year, which happens to be the camera setups from last year. So they didn't get camera hardware improvements. What I think we're going to have to hope is that, number one, there's software improvements, and that the Snapdragon 888 brings a bunch of camera improvements as well to get more out of those sensors. The S21 Plus, though, did have a special 4th depth sensor last year. I'm just going to assume that did absolutely nothing, which I'm pretty sure it didn't do anything. So they cut that. So it actually, S21 Plus has 3 cameras, not 4, like the S20 Plus did last year. Then you mentioned no MST. So magnetic secure transmission is the mobile payment technology that Samsung bought years ago, and they included in a whole bunch of phones. And it's the MST is the technology that lets you tap a phone to a non-NFC payment terminal and still process. So before NFC was all over the place, it came in very handy if you needed to pay, and people used to be wowed by it, and they're like, you can't do that here, and then you'd go watch this sucker.
I can.
Yeah, it was fun. So they've cut that from the S21 line, and they said they're really not going to use it going forward because NFC is everywhere. But it is another cut. I know you're a huge fan of MST, so this probably pissed you off a little bit, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. However, I do realize that, I've definitely noticed when I go to places today, I'm seeing a lot more updated card readers and all that, right? And that was something that retailers said they were going to be doing, like, starting 2 years ago. Yeah. Okay, we're going to start updating, and we're actually seeing it take place now in 2021. So I don't know if I'm, too upset still about no MST. It's like one of those things you're just going to have to get over it. So...
yeah, I mean, thankfully, NFC is almost everywhere. I mean, even the little convenience store I go to close to my house that I buy beer at, I like the guy, when I hand him my card, which has like a chip in it, he just taps it to his, like, what looks like one of those old school like card swipers. It even has NFC in it, and he just so I'm like, I think even like if the mom and pop convenience store has the thing now, we're probably getting to that point. But again, it is another cut, and then of course, there's no charger in the box. Yeah. So, Apple with the iPhone 12 said no charger, and Samsung did the whole thing where they made fun of them. And we went, you probably shouldn't do that because you're probably going to do the same thing. And sure enough, they did the same thing. And there really is no charger in the box. You get a USB-C to USB-C cable. What's really funny, since there's no charger in the box, and they do these like pictures and their own unboxing videos, and it's usually like a picture of everything that comes in the box on all their marketing materials. Since there's no charger, they had to like put the SIM removal tool like as a like a
Like, that's a
placeholder.
feature.
Yeah, because there's nothing
Yeah.
else to put, right? Because they don't want to put the guidebook out there. And so the SIM removal tool, which now is more worthless than ever because you don't even use it to put an SD card in, right? You basically one time put your SIM in and that's it. So there's no charger. What's kind of weird is Samsung didn't do anything new with charging. So not only did they not give you a new charger, they're not doing like 45 watt or 65 watt charging or whatever like OnePlus and Oppo and all these other companies are doing. It's just kind of the same old charging experience. It does have wireless charging and reverse power share and all of that stuff, but no charger, and they didn't improve. And Samsung phones don't charge that fast, so kind of weird. And again, it's not a big upgrade year. There's not a bunch of upgrades unless the Snapdragon 888 is like a kingmaker processor that like is just going to blow us away. There's not. Well, I guess unless you look at the S21 Ultra, because they did put new cameras there.
Yeah, I think maybe the base S21 and S21 Plus aren't like huge things, but I do want to give props to Samsung in the hardware design department. I really think like this kind of the way they integrated the camera module into the actual hardware design, it doesn't look like an afterthought, right? Like it's a part of the phone, and I think that looks really good. This is one of the more attractive phones I've seen from Samsung.
I would say so.
So, I mean, definitely props to that. And plus, I mean, the Snapdragon 888 is supposed to be pretty dope, right? So, I mean, the performance should be awesome. You've got the quad A, at least on the Ultra, you've got quad HD at 120 hertz. That's huge. Although I don't, how's that going to affect battery life? Huge 5,000 milliamp hour battery in the S21 Ultra. It is a sweet phone. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on it. I wish I could have got it earlier and didn't have to like buy it, but that's okay. Thank you, Samsung. We at least got a press release. That was good.
Yay, we got a press
What
release.
else is there to say? I mean, they look good, right?
They do look
so
nice.
Samsung fans, I don't think are gonna have any problem saying like, hey, you should probably just pick this up. I know there's a lot of things like the micro S. I can make an argument either way. I'm just trying to stay positive because that's my job here. Kellen's the negative one, I'm the positive one. So
Correct.
I'm trying to stay positive, but I guess I could see why it might be hard to do that because they did definitely cut some things.
Yeah, if you're and I guess I should clarify too. The Ultra, they didn't really cut anything from the Ultra. Like it's pretty much maxed out, and they have new cameras, new space zoom, and all of that stuff. So it is, but it's also a $1,200 phone. Although that is $200 cheaper than last year. So if you want to go all out and you were eyeing the Ultra, it does have some subtle improvements. But the S21 and 21 Plus certainly got cuts. So if you were going to just eye those because you don't care about space zoom and maybe the Ultra is too big or whatever, it's fine. Those other two saw, I mean, you could argue significant cuts, but so yeah.
Also, I keep forgetting, but S Pen on the S21
I keep
Ultra,
forgetting
man.
that too. It doesn't come with it, but yes, that's right.
Yeah, totally. I mean, with the instant credit you get from the pre-orders, you can get the case that holds it and stuff. So that's cool. Anyone who uses the S Pen being able to use that on the Ultra. I mean, I've never used an S Pen. I'm always the one to review the Note phones, and so I'll use the S Pen just enough to get the gist of it.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah, so I'm good. I did not buy it or anything like that. I don't plan on using it. Anyone who plans on getting an S Pen knows what the S Pen is about. You don't need me, a S Pen hater, to explain it to you. So
yeah, and I think part of the thing with the Note and the S Pen is it went inside the phone, so you had it at all times. Like this, it doesn't. Like you can't hide the S Pen inside the S21 Ultra. Like it's just like an optional accessory. And they did make a case for it, which somebody just mentioned in the chat, which looks awful. It's super thick and wide because it has to hold the pen on the side. It looks terrible. So it does have S Pen support. They also announced an S Pen Pro, which they didn't provide a ton of details on. They said it's coming later. And it just looks like a bigger, thicker pen. Probably it's more ergonomic and that sort of thing. And it probably has better battery life and more precision or something. I have no idea. I'm not an S Pen guy either. So there's an S Pen Pro coming later this year. They didn't really put a firm date or price or anything, I don't think, on that. So yeah, I forgot that the Ultra does. I pointed this out on my own personal Twitter, but Samsung did like a Q&A with just, I don't know even where they got the questions from. But so some executives answered questions about, like, some people had posed them questions about the S21 line, and somebody said, hey, the S21 Ultra has S Pen support. Does that mean the Note line is dead? And instead of just saying, well, I guess I could back up for a little bit, because remember there's been like multiple reports that say the Note line is dead and it's just going to be fold going forward in the fall. And then right before the S21, they, like, somebody had like an interview in Korea and said, no, the Note line's not dead. I don't know why you guys are saying that. So anyway, fast forward, and somebody asked Samsung, and they said it was the easiest question. It was, is the Note line continuing or is it dead? And they didn't even mention it in their response. The response was, well, we want to make the S Pen available to all of these different devices, and we want to expand, and we certainly want to innovate, and blah, blah, blah. And they didn't like even mention the word Note. So I'm just going to like take that as, yes, the Note line is dead. Like, if you had an easy opportunity to just say, no, we love the Note line. Like, something. We love the Note line. And we look forward to introducing new Note experiences in the future. Anything. And they just blew right past it. So I'm taking that as the Note line is dead. Confirmed to me. In my brain, confirmed Note dead.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's sort of like a up in the air thing right now, but I feel like it's not dead. So I mean, we'll see.
We're what? 7 months away from when we should get the Note.
Yeah,
they're gonna know. They already know if there's a Note. So yeah, and then also, yeah, leaks will start. But I mean, like, they know if they're gonna release a Note in 6 months.
Oh, of course, yes, they do.
So the fact that they just dance, and I know it's a new phone, they want to talk about the new phone.
Yeah, they want to talk about the new one.
Come on, man.
You can't just like go teasing what you got coming. People won't buy this thing. This thing supports S Pen. And you can buy a stupid looking case for it. Such an afterthought, you know, like, what can we cut and what can we bring that'll cost us literally nothing? And I guess we could just bake the S Pen software into here and like say it has stylus support. I don't know. It seems like,
and the other two phones don't have it. It's just the Ultra.
No,
it's only the Ultra.
Weird. I don't know if they need like a special like driver. Like, I don't know how that works. I mean, I assume like it just does. I assume the other two just don't have the software.
That's what I would assume.
I'm assume the stylus like literally will work though.
I would,
like, for taps.
Maybe.
I have no idea. It's not something I've tested. Don't take that to the bank.
Stylus support and things has always actually fascinated me, and it's one of those things I probably should figure out. I bet somebody in chat will tell us this, but why, if you buy just any general stylus, it won't work on like every phone? Like, see, somebody says it's a Wacom digitizer. So I don't know. Is that what it is? Like, it needs the special hardware? I kind of assumed it was hardware related, just because if you just grab any, like, I have the Pixel Book pen or whatever that I had like from years ago, and I've tried to just tap it on any other device. It doesn't work, obviously, right? And so I always wondered, like, why. And so anyway, someone says it's a digitizer. I'll believe them.
That's how little I've cared about the S Pen or stylus device. Right. I use like Steve Jobs talked about this 10 plus years ago. Like, we don't want a stylus. We have our fingers. We have 10 built-in stylus right here. Why do I need a piece of plastic to get in between me and my beautiful display? I just don't understand. Some people, though, they want to, I don't know. You know what? I don't want to fight about it. I don't want to fight.
The only thing I ever use them for is to color, because like coloring on them is actually pretty satisfying. That's
I can understand that, but you know, like, there's something. Get a coloring book.
Right.
You know, they cost $5, and it's a lot more fun, I think. I also want to say there was a comment previously that I thought was funny. It was from Brandon Johnson. He says, it's kind of surprising that a couple of Samsung shills couldn't get review units in advance. And then he said, you know, /S for sarcasm. No, but like, I actually thought coming up to this year that we were like, you know what? Like, we've been talking a lot of good stuff about Samsung. We like the last year's phones. We've said they've been updating phones like crazy. We've been saying some good things. Maybe they'd show us some love.
Never.
But
they absolutely hate us. I think they hate me in particular, but because they talk to you a little bit.
They talk to me. They don't talk to you.
They refuse to talk to me. We talked about this a lot, actually, over the years about Samsung and their treatment of us. I've looked back through our reviews of their phones, and there are very few examples where we were like, this phone sucks. Like, I think the last one was
It was
seriously
only the S5.
it was like the S5. We trashed that phone. And then I don't know what happened. They, whatever. They won't let us back in. I don't know what we're going to do at this point. It's been like 7 years since they've talked to me, so I don't really know what to do. But it is unfortunate because we would love to share the phones with you guys, and we can't do that but 2 weeks later than everyone else. And so that sucks, because like I would love to give you guys my opinion on how the plastic feels in the 21. Tim would love to show you how giant the Ultra is next to his head. I mean, there's like a bunch of things that we would like to talk about and show you, and we just aren't given that opportunity any longer. So it sucks, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
We did run a poll, asked if anyone's buying any of these phones, and 58% of our readers said no. But if they if they were buying, it was mostly the Ultra. A bunch of people on the fence. No one wants anything to do with the S21 Plus, which I get. And some people said, yeah, maybe the 21. So, I can't tell if it's popular or not. I think again, the new price points are great. I think it's unfortunate they had to cut a bunch of stuff to get there, which they didn't really cut anything from the Ultra, yet managed to drop its price by 200. But the 21 and 21 Plus, they had to cut a bunch of stuff to get their prices down. So we're sending mixed signals here. We're sending some mixed signals. I do feel a little bad for Google because the Pixel 5 costs $700. And, even with all the cuts that Samsung did to the S21, like the S21 just stomps all over what you get for the money there. I do still love my Pixel 5, by the way. But, I mean, the S21 value-wise is, So, I don't know. What else? What else is there with the S21 line? Smart Things with it now has like a integration with Android Auto. You can use the phone as like a car key to open. You can do that now.
I think that's pretty cool, especially for anyone picking up the new Ford Broncos. It should be compatible, I would think.
That would be sweet.
So, and there's going to be, I'm telling you, this new Ford Broncos, even the sport model, I think these are going to be some pretty popular little trucks. So
yeah, I mean, I think their like wait list is probably stupid long. Although isn't that car like delayed? Like you can't, like weren't they supposed to like start shipping them already or not? I feel like it's delayed.
No, I don't think there's any delays. Orders are going to start going live later this month, I believe. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Samsung. I don't know what else. I think that's mostly it. Android 11, One UI 3.1. There's probably Dex somewhere on a phone, but I haven't used Dex in about 17 years. So
yeah, what's Dex?
I think that's
I mean, did we talk about that? Like, if you're going to buy one, you should definitely use the trade-in from Samsung. I mean, that's if you own your phone outright. I mean, there's only one way to go, and that's by trading it into to Samsung. They're going to give you the most money.
Yeah, they're doing up to $700 off right now, which is, I believe, matches the highest they've ever given on trade-in. So if you have any of the S20 phones, and obviously any of the new Note 20s, they'll give you $700. Then any S10 model and the S20 FE, they'll give you $550. So the S20 FE, a bunch of people probably bought for like $550 or $599. They will give you $550 for that if you just swap that. And any of the S10s, including the S10e, they'll give you $550 for. And then after that, like the S9 even, I think they'll give you $354. So you have like an S9 laying around, they'll still give you $350 for that thing. So the trading values are highest they will ever be, which is always the case.
Well, this is also thanks to, so prices going up. So like I'm technically, because we have to buy our own phones and Samsung doesn't give them to us like a lot of other people, we're making money because we got to buy these phones, but then they give us higher trade-in values than what we bought it for, right? It's because I traded in a Note something, I think, for our S20 Ultra. And then if I'm getting $700, I did not pay $700 for the S20 Ultra. So I think we made like 200 made, but we profited like $200 towards the trade-in value. Yeah, I mean, so thankfully phone prices going up, but that means trade-in value is going up. And so that's a good thing. If you can kind of get in on that, you have a good phone to trade in, it's not a bad thing because Samsung, I mean, their trade-in program has been very good. We haven't had any issues with it.
We haven't, yeah.
I know some people have, and I'm sorry for that, but you just have to be sure to wipe the phone, make sure there's no hidden dents or screw. Don't try and get anything past them, and you'll have no problems.
I will say that I feel a little bit bad for a person who owns an Ultra getting 700 and knowing that the person who owns the lower tier S20 also gets 700. Like those phones were, when they were released, $400 apart. So that kind of sucks, but
yeah, but like who's going to get mad? Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, but
that's the only
still,
thing.
Like,
I mean, they're the highest trade values we've seen, but and also the Note 20, same thing. Like the plastic Note 20 versus the Ultra, you get 700.
That should not be the same. Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid.
But yeah, so we have an S21 coming. I have a white S21 coming. Tim went black S21 Ultra. This is one of the first times I think ever maybe that Samsung has gone with a matte black color on stuff. You and I typically avoid black phones because they're usually glossy and they just get fingerprints all over them. They look awful. But the matte S21 Ultra looks really nice. Like really nice.
It does. It was sort of a toss-up even when I'm in the ordering process. I'm like, oh man, do I go silver or black? But then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go black. It's matte. I really wish, call me crazy, but like that purple and gold color I was kind of feeling that, and I was hoping the S20 Ultra or 21 Ultra would be available in that. And Kellen was like talking mad crap. He's like,
you're on your
don't
own
do
there.
that.
Yeah.
I was like, how about those custom colors though? Like, if we could have ordered one of those, but I can't wait an additional 5 weeks for it to show up. But like they have like a blue and a brown. Those custom order colors are very nice looking.
Yeah, so Samsung, we didn't mention this earlier, but Samsung is offering the standard colors, which like for the S21 is white, pink, purple, like a dark gray, and then the S21 Plus is like similar, and then the Ultra is black or silver, but each model has like some special colors. Like there's a red and gold, which is awful for the S21 Plus. But the Ultra has 3 separate colors. Yeah, like a dark navy, kind of a brownish bronzish, and then more of a charcoal gray. And they look really nice too. But yeah, you have to wait 5 weeks for those. So unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right. Is that enough S21 talk?
Yeah, I mean, we can't wait to get them in house. We'll let you know as soon as we do. It'll be when everyone else gets theirs in house because we're just regular old Joe Schmoes apparently.
Yes, we are. Imagine this is me holding S21. Look it's pretty. Plastic's not bad. It's kind of soft touch. I like it. It's not too big next to my head. Can't wait.
Nice.
Another Samsung announcement was the Galaxy Buds Pro. So there are new buds from Samsung. I don't have those. We don't have those either.
We don't have those either. I mean, last year Samsung did a briefing and they at least gave those out to everyone who attended, right? So I was even expecting some Buds Pro. Didn't even get Buds Pro when we saw the embargo. The embargo lifted today for reviews. I'm like, come on, man! Like, I want some freaking earbuds. Damn. So I was hoping for some of that active noise cancellation. I totally forgot the Buds Live. The Beans, the Galaxy Beans. They have active noise cancellation, but those things sucked. So I forgot they existed. So I'm actually really excited to get the Buds Pro. That's what I ordered with my instant credit. I got the Buds Pro.
I did too, yeah.
They should be pretty good. I assume they're pretty good. I mean, because the Galaxy Buds Plus, those are very good earbuds in my personal opinion. So
yeah, for sure.
We're all gonna find out together. It's gonna be great.
It's a community effort when it comes to Samsung with us. We'll all hang out together, and you guys can tell us everything. It's like the opposite. We'll let you guys who get your orders earlier than us. You just tell us, and we'll share your thoughts. Maybe that's what we should do. Is on the day the early orders start arriving, we'll go, we don't have any phones yet, so you tell us how yours is, and we'll let you guys. It's not a bad idea.
I actually really like that, kind of like a community aggregated review type thing.
Yeah.
We could literally just not have to do any work.
And then we just don't even have to review them. That's not a bad idea.
Kind of digging it.
Anyway, the Buds Pro are what, $200? They come in a bunch of different colors. They have ANC and long battery life. Actually, the battery life's not that great, right? Not compared to the Buds Plus. It's only like 6 hours or something, isn't it?
Right, but I think it's 5 hours with both
Mm.
active noise cancellation and the Bixby Wake kind of
Mm.
enable. But if you have those things off, it's not bad, I don't
Okay.
think.
All right. It's not too bad, I guess. They look kind of nice. Nice little case. Good stuff.
Sure.
Those are available today, I think. I think you can actually walk. I don't know if you go to like Best Buy and buy those, but you can order them. They were supposed to launch on the 15th, and it's the 15th. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I see. Now that's a problem I have. Like when I pre-ordered, it says they won't be here until when the phone shows
Right.
up.
Right.
What gives? If
I
they
don't know.
launch, send them to me now. Like, why am I waiting?
I don't know. I think they're supposed to be available today. You
I'm
might
so
be able to
sure.
like go to Best Buy and buy them, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Why did I do this?
I have no idea. All right, let's move out of Samsung because I'm sick of.
Sick of talking about them.
Yeah. So Google announced this week, Google and Fitbit announced that acquisition is done. So Google says we've completed everything. We own Fitbit. It is a part of Google. And Fitbit said the same thing. They said, we are a part of Google. All of the approvals that need to come from governments across the world aren't quite ready to say yes. So apparently the Department of Justice gave Google like 14 months to finish everything up. Maybe they said finish it up in 14 months and then we'll give you like a yes or no. And that has expired apparently. And so Google said, look, you gave us this time and it expired and you were going to give us a yes or no and you didn't. So we're saying yes. And they're like, yeah, well, we still might need to look at this. So Google says it's done. Not everyone else agrees with that. So technically Fitbit is a part of Google according to Google. If that makes sense.
We just got some breaking news across the wire. It says Google announces a standalone messaging app for Fitbit watches. Oh, and then another headline, Google shuts down Fitbit watches. Oh man, terrible. I don't get the move. I just don't get it. We'll see. Because I'm still mad, and I'll never get over it. Wear OS, man.
Just joking, everyone.
Oh yeah, sorry. Just kidding. But there is a messaging app for Fitbit, probably coming, maybe. But Wear OS is dead, right? Like it doesn't. Is that still a thing?
Yeah. So they. In their blog post yesterday, well, I guess I'll rewind a little bit again. When they announced that they were buying Fitbit, they said this will allow us to heavily invest in Wear OS, and Wear OS will be better than ever. And that was 14 months ago or whatever. So yesterday, when they said we've completed this, there was zero mention of Wear OS at all. They also didn't really mention much about the future. I mean, Fitbit was like, look, we have, more resources than ever to make Fitbit better than ever. But Google didn't necessarily say like, we can't wait to make a bunch of new devices. So kind of weird. And look, Wear OS got a new processor months ago in the 4100 and Mobvoi released a watch with it. No one else has released a Snapdragon Wear 4100 watch. And that thing was announced in the fall or the summer. And like Fossil's released watches and nothing with a 4100. And when the 3100 was announced, Mont Blanc, our favorite, they released a 3100 watch right away. And then the Fossil Sport arrived shortly thereafter. So within the first couple of months, we had at least 2 watches, including Fossil, who's the biggest player in the game. And they're not in a rush to put the 4100 at anything. So I mean, Wear OS could be dead, but no one wants to just admit that. I guess we'll see over the next year, I would imagine, if anyone else releases a 4100 watch. And if they don't, even in the next 6 months, I think we can probably start putting that nail in the and then we'll see with Fitbit announces new hardware, because I don't know. Wear OS probably dead.
Yeah, Evan Brown was asking, what do you want Wear OS to do that it can't? And so my thing about Wear OS being dead isn't necessarily that the platform is bad, it's that no one is doing anything with it.
Yeah.
So Fossil, like Kellen said, I mean, we've got a new Gen 5 device. It's freaking January 2021, and we're getting a new Gen 5 watch. No Gen 6 with LTE. What? No one wants that, dude. Like,
And for
and it's
350
got
bucks.
yeah, and it's got the 3100, not even the 4100. And like Brandon says, it's stagnant, right? There's just no one doing anything. The only time you can get a good Wear OS watch is if you spend more than $1,000 and get something like the Mont Blanc. It's got to have at least a gig RAM. I mean, it's just like it's really sort of it's not a great platform, man. I mean, I hate to say it, but like Apple just totally dominates, sort of that wearable game. I think you think smartwatch is sort of
Samsung.
ubiquitous with just Apple Watch. So it's hard I don't see how Wear OS kind of comes back in a big way.
Yeah, I wouldn't. My sort of thought is, well, number one, the TicWatch with the 4100 TicWatch Pro 3 is really solid, and for 300 bucks, that's good. It's sad that no one else has like come up with a 4100 watch. My sort of thought though is that Wear OS will probably die. And I think Wear OS will die because what is going to replace it? Because you can't catch Samsung and Apple at this point. Wear OS is so far behind, right? And Google has refused to innovate on the platform forever. I mean, they still don't have like built-in sleep tracking and all this stuff. Like all these other manufacturers had to add their own software because Google just won't build anything into Wear OS. So my guess is them buying Fitbit is just them signaling that they're just going to make fitness devices versus smartwatches. Like Wear OS will probably kind of be around in case people want to play with it. Because the other thing we've seen is Google is letting people customize Wear OS more than ever, right? Like Oppo has a couple of Wear OS watches, and I believe it's heavily customized, right? Which initially they were like, no one gets to customize Wear OS. We're shipping everything. And Google doesn't seem to want to do that. So my guess is that it's going to be a push for just fitness focused watches that aren't that smart. Like Fitbit watches are not smart. Like they track health and fitness stuff, but the OS on Fitbit stuff is such garbage. I don't know if you've ever used a Fitbit watch. They suck. And I'm going to offend a bunch of people when I say this.
Probably.
When I say that they suck, I don't necessarily mean what they track. I mean the OS. The OS is terrible. I picked up the new Fitbit Sense when it first launched. Was like, cool, it's going to track like my temperature and stress and cool. I like all this stuff. I used it for like 3 hours and was like, this is the worst operating system I've ever used in my life. But people like that stuff because they like it just to track things. And so we're seeing like companies like, which we haven't talked about a lot on Droid, like Amazfit. They're this company that makes just fitness watches. And in the US, they're making some watches called Zepp, which is the stupidest name ever. But so these companies like Huawei killed Wear OS watches, right? And they make these GTR watches, which runs their own stuff. And they're just fitness watches. And I think like that's the future for Android outside of Samsung. Whereas like Wear OS probably doesn't have much of a place anymore. And so people will start making just fitness focus. And I bet you Google will continue to push that with Fitbit, if that makes sense. I know that was like a long-winded sort of explanation there.
No, it makes sense.
Some like a lot of people are familiar with Amazfit. So Amazfit, I have a GTR 2 on the desk behind me. That watch is pretty sweet. I mean, I don't know that I trust Amazfit to track everything just because I don't really know who they are. And when I say I don't trust them to track fit, I'm like, I don't know how accurate everything is. Like I wore the GTR for a while and my heart rate on one workout to the next was like awful. Like it was so off that I was like, I can't really use this anymore. But it was thin profile, it lasts for days. It has a beautiful screen. It has all this fitness tracking, all this stuff. And it's like $180, $150. So I think that's more the future than these $300 Wear OS watches that just like Fossil's not a software company. They're not going to continue to make innovative software on top of Wear OS. I don't think. I don't think they want to. I don't think that's what they got into it for. So anyways, I think the future is Fitbit style watches from Google, and I wouldn't doubt it if Wear OS development pretty much grinds to a halt, and it's just there as a shell for other companies to use if they want. That's my guess. There's my prediction.
Interesting. That was the longest we've talked about smartwatches in quite some time. Way more than your allotted 60 seconds, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was way over. Okay, so anyway, that's Google and Fitbit.
Nice.
In other sort of short news, there's a new Motorola phone, and we don't have to spend time on this at all. But Motorola said during the Qualcomm Snapdragon Summit thing that they do in December, Motorola said, we're going to bring a Snapdragon 800 chip to the Moto G series. I don't know why. It's sort of like a celebration of their 10th or 11th anniversary of it. But the reason I bring it up is because that phone stopped due to FCC this week. So if you're a big Moto G fan, it will have an 800. It'll have a Snapdragon 865, not the 888, and they're going to release it this year. Again, I don't know why, because the point of the Moto G line is to make affordable phones. And if you throw an 865 in it, where you have to, or you're required to throw that separate 5G modem in, the price will not be that great. It's very weird. And they also just released like 3 Moto G phones that are all $180. I don't know. Anyway, we can move on. CES.
Motorola.
Yeah, Motorola. CES, though.
Right. CES, man.
CES was this week. CES actually happened. There was an online sort of experience.
Sure.
You know, I didn't participate in any of it. We had some press releases come out. We shared some news that was technically related to CES being a thing. There was virtual experiences, I believe. I did not enter any of those virtual experiences. But we do have some news. So you already mentioned the Fossil Gen 5 LTE was announced. Woohoo! Scoggin announced a new watch, but it's one of those weird hybrid e-paper things, which Fossil already released a year ago, and you guys probably didn't buy. Just prior or around the start of CES, OnePlus announced the OnePlus Band, a fitness band from OnePlus. It's only available in India. And then LG announced their rollable. They're calling it LG Rollable. I can't imagine that's going to be the official launch name, but their rollable phone. So a rollable phone is a phone that is a normal phone size, and it unrolls the display to create like a mini tablet. So rather than folding to get your big screen, small screen experience, the LG Rollable will unroll because they have rollable displays. I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago when they did the rollable TV. How much was that thing? Wasn't it like $20,000 or something? Or was it even more than that?
I thought it was like 100,000, honestly. I thought it was something stupid.
Yeah, it might have been something crazy like that. So they have this rollable TV that like rises out of a base and rolls back up. And so they're going to do that with phones. And they showed a couple more teasers of it. And then they confirmed that it will launch at some point this year. We don't know if it's at the end of the year, mid, whatever. But LG's making a rollable. I think the idea is pretty cool just because the more and more time I've spent with the Fold 2, the weight of it bugs me, the thickness and weight of the foldingness. Whereas this thing, it could be normal-ish size. I mean, it's still going to be thick. It has to roll a display up. But creating a phone that then slides out into a mini tablet, kind of a cool idea if you're not a fan of foldables. I have no idea if it'll be good or not, but the technology seems neat.
Sure, totally neat. I mean, how expensive is this gonna be? I mean, like, yeah, like it's a cool idea for sure.
It is, yeah. It's one of those things I certainly want to play with. I haven't touched an LG phone in like 3 years, but this one I want to watch a phone go and unroll. Like that could be kind of cool. Although I think it's motorized, which is scary.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's better than the Wing concept, but yeah, I mean, I just assume it's going to be really expensive. So, and then, if it makes like a sound like a motorized, I don't know. I'm sure it'll break on me. And like people are talking smack about the Galaxy Fold and stuff and getting in there. Like this thing's gonna break. Like if you get some particles up in there, well, you're done for.
I can't imagine how thin and fragile the screen must be if it can roll. Like the Fold screen, the inside one that folds, it's fragile. It's this very thin glass and all of that. If you need to roll it, I can't imagine how fragile that thing will be. But I am excited to at least like play with one for a little while. It could be kind of cool.
Yeah, the one thing, right? Like if there's no kind of creasing or from where the roll is, like even on my, like you can see like there's creases, right? Yeah. So it just, I'm curious about it, but that's as far as I'll go.
Yeah. The other thing out of CES that we actually cared about was Qualcomm's new ultrasonic fingerprint reader. This thing is confirmed to be in the S21, right? This thing is in the S21, or we don't know for sure.
I don't know for sure right
I
off.
think it is. I thought like XDA wrote up that it was, and they
I
typically
mean, it wouldn't surprise
know.
me for them to announce it and then literally be like in there. So
Yeah.
Fillmore says that yes, it's in the S21. Fillmore seems on top of his game, so maybe for now I'll go with Fillmore.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a much larger sensor. It's faster, all of that stuff. You know, the ultrasonic sensor they put in several phones in a row was not great. So improvements are good. I like improvements. So anyway, that's CES. There's nothing else really to talk about out of CES. CES was, I mean, it was a virtual event. Instead of the 150,000 people that's, you know, that flow into Las Vegas every
No
year
parties.
in early January, and there's vendors and it takes up the entire city. There was nothing. And so I don't think anyone really wanted to do a virtual experience, and I can't blame them at all. There's nothing worse than a virtual press experience or to show off your goods. So CES is over, and that's kind of all that happened. Like, you know, there were some phones, like TCL announced some cheap phones.
Sure.
But there really wasn't much. That's kind of where we're at.
Shout out to Alfredo in the chat, says they showed it, but you didn't watch the event. Yeah, pretty much, man. So
there you go.
We probably missed a couple of things. Okay. We're too busy. We were writing. We had, as soon as the thing started, we had to post everything that we had under embargo. So it's like, how I can't multitask. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
And with like the limited amount of info they give us, we're learning in real time, and it's a lot. So yeah, I'm glad that they show that.
One thing I could not stand about CES this year is that companies thought that it was okay to do everything on Eastern time. Oh, and they don't even care about Pacific media.
They don't like us at all.
LG had, I think, their CES event start at 7 a.m. Eastern. I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. to listen about refrigerators or televisions. So CES being on the East Coast time, it ruined everything for me. And I was basically
usually it's Vegas time, which is our time, right?
Pacific time.
Yeah. So usually LG does their 8 a.m. Pacific, which we're like, okay, this is normal for us. Yeah, no, everybody changed it to Eastern. It was brutal.
Not cool.
Yes, you Eastern elitists, damn it.
Pretty much.
All right. You know what? One thing we didn't mention, and you posted this right before the show, was the Galaxy S21 messaging situation. So we didn't talk about this, but it is pretty important. So during the presentation, Hiroshi Lockheimer from Google, I believe, had a moment, and the only reason I know this is because Google told me he did this. That he talked about like their collaboration with Samsung on the S21 and things like that, and he talked about messaging and RCS. And so in the press notes I saw, they said there's something about messages, and we're talking about Android messages, not Samsung's messages, and RCS and being integrated somehow in S21. Anyway, I reached out to them yesterday, back to Google, and said, hey, can you explain this further? And they said, sure, we'll get back to you. And instead of getting back to me, Hiroshi went on Engadget's podcast right after and explained it further there. And he said, what we did was we took messages and talked Samsung into putting our messages app with RCS on the S21 outside of the US. And so outside of the US, if you're going to buy an S21, you will get Google's messages app with RCS ready. And that's fun. Here in the US, you will still have Samsung's messages app. And you can obviously download Google Messages and use it, but they didn't preload it. They wouldn't offer any reason, but we know, right? It's carriers, right? Like we know it's carriers. And there's the biggest reason I can think of is Verizon. And I don't always like to blame Verizon for everything, but Verizon pushes this awful Message Plus app that's like it's a Verizon made messaging app, and they preload that on all of their carrier phones. And so when Google goes, hey, we want to put this on Samsung's phones, and Samsung goes, yeah, we'd like to do that. You know that there's a boardroom software executive a-hole from Verizon that was like, nope, got to put Verizon messages on there. That's in the contract. We've been doing this for 10 years. We put Verizon messages on there. This is what we do. And it was like, oh man, we wanted to have this big announcement where Google Messages is everywhere. And Verizon went, nope. I don't know if AT&T preloads their own messages app. T-Mobile doesn't have one. So I bet they were cool. And in fact, I would not be shocked if you buy the T-Mobile S21 if it has Google Messages on there. I would not be shocked. And AT&T and Verizon probably know. So anyway, there's no confirmation of that, but come on. We know Verizon wanted to preload their own shitty application on there.
Oh, absolutely.
Instead of Android Messages or Google Messages or whatever we're calling it. Anyway, that was the last bit of news. Yes, the lights are on.
It's time.
It is time. All right, we are done with topics for the day. It is trivia time. Tim has the lights going. We will settle in now and give prizes away. So if you're new around here, it's trivia time. And yes, we will run through questions, 5 of them. We'll let you answer if you're listening live in the chat on YouTube. All you have to do is once we read it and post it, just type the answer as fast as you can. If you are correct and first, we will call out your name and you will win. And when I say if you're first and correct, we will call it out because on our screen, we have like the official feed. So yours might look weird. We'll tell you if you're first or not. There could be some close ones. Either way, we're giving $10 in Google Play credit to all winners. It is an S21 related trivia. It won't be that hard. I think you guys will do just fine.
All right. Welcome everyone. Droid Life Trivia first. Trivia show of 2021.
Sure is.
We're happy to be here. Thanks for joining us. And let's give away some goodies. $10 Google Play credit to each winner. We got 5 questions. Let's go ahead and start this off. I don't know. Well, now hold on. We did mention Galaxy S21 theme today, so there will be quite a bit to do with the Galaxy S21 lineup. Just so we all are aware.
I was just spamming out specs for the S21.
It's gonna be a little harder than that, maybe, than instead of just spamming off specs, but we shall see. All right. Question number 1, please. Let's get it going.
Question number 1 is up now.
What GPU is used in the Galaxy S21 lineup? As I just said, there wouldn't be just specs. Right? No one talks about the GPU, though.
No.
So I need what GPU is used in the Galaxy S21? Travis is close. I'm seeing, I believe, Zachary Webb with the correct answer of the Adreno 660. Well, he did say, wait, did he really say adrenaline?
That's got to be an
autocorrect, right? Zachary, let us know if that, let's go. That has to be autocorrect, man. But also he's using an iOS device. I mean, like, he should be sort of banned. Just kidding, Zach. I think we're going to go with Zachary Webb. I know autocorrect can be a total pain, especially for a word like Adreno. So
Adreno 660 is the GPU.
Oh, that was funny. I didn't even read it as
a bunch of people typed 888. That would be the CPU.
Yeah. Congratulations, Zach. I'm sorry about your autocorrect, man.
Adrenaline. Close enough.
Close enough. We're being super lenient today, apparently.
Apparently, for that one, anyway.
Yeah. So let's go. Oh, yeah. Sorry if everyone who was looking up the international model. We were looking for the U.S.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. We should specify that more often.
We should have specified but that's why we're going to give it to Zachary, though.
Yeah.
With question number 2, please.
Question number 2 is up now.
With regard to RAM, what does LPDDR stand for? I just need that acronym. What does that stand for? Chris Williams. He's good.
Have we had that question recently? I almost feel like we have. Maybe not.
I don't know. It sounds like a question I would ask before, or may possibly ask. We've done hundreds, if not thousands, of questions.
At this point.
Chris Williams, congratulations. There's only so much Android trivia out there,
This is true. He says, I got it last time. That's too funny.
Oh, son of a.
I mean, we just lose track of these things.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to go back and see what I've asked. So, okay.
For the holiday trivia, Zach. Really? That's really funny.
Gosh, that was recent. Okay, well, that was a fail on my part.
Hey, we took a month off. We can't. These brains just,
That was funny. Okay, that was a whole year ago, guys. God, relax. Question number 3, please.
Question number 3 is up now.
What is the internal code name for the Galaxy S21? Finally, something that maybe someone, take a second to get.
The exclamation. It was last show. So funny. It just happens.
I'm seeing Alexander
Yeah.
with the correct answer of Unbound.
I have no idea if that's correct or not. I'm just going to assume you know what you're talking about.
I feel like I am. I mean, hey, I Googled it.
Alexandra. You are correct. Unbound.
Unbound. Congratulations. $10 of Google Play credit coming at you. Oh, David says let down. That's not cool, bro. We're Samsung fanboys here.
Or that's an autocorrect too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here.
That guy's about to get banned. Anyway.
I'm ready for question number 4 whenever you are.
Question number 4 is up now.
What popular mobile payments technology is missing from the Galaxy S21 lineup? We did sort of talk about this. Oh, man, these people are so fast. Brandon Johnson with the correct answer of MST. Oh, you guys are fast.
That was a quick one. Nick Fisher, you were right behind him. So was Chris, which already won. But yeah, Brandon.
When I was writing the question, I was like, well, maybe I want to make them have to spell out magnetic secure transmission.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I already did LPDD. And I was like, I don't want to freaking get into all that.
Yeah.
It's too early.
It is too early.
How's everyone liking the shows now starting at 10 a.m.? Personally, not the biggest fan, but what has to be done has to be done. I much prefer the noon shows because then it was like once the show ended, it was like, okay, day's basically over. You can just head out. Still got to work a little bit.
It's kind of weird. Kind of still get used to it as well. Blame my wife.
All right. Last and final question. We've got 10 more bucks of Google Play credit coming at you. You can rent Tenet. Speaking of which, I haven't watched Tenet. Is that a good movie?
I'm not gonna. It's gonna be a while before I watch it.
I thought you were really looking forward to it. I thought, and I said specifically, I hope it sucks because Christopher Nolan was being like a weirdo about it. So
he was being a weirdo about it. I think it's long, number one, and two, everyone just goes, I don't understand it. And then from there, everyone goes, but it was cool. And the rest of them go, I don't understand it, so it's dumb. I feel like everyone starts in the same lane. It doesn't make any sense. And then they just branch from there into the Christopher Nolan fan cult club. And they're like, it's just beyond. You just can't understand.
It's right. They say it's too smart for you. And I just lose it, dude.
And then the rest of the people are like, dude, it was too confusing. I just don't care. And I feel like everyone just branches into those two.
See, I love his movies, right? Of course, the Dark Knight stuff, but I love Interstellar is my favorite movie. So anything that's kind of with time and all, Inception is fantastic. So if it's anything like those, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm gonna watch it this weekend though. It's kind of hard to talk my wife into watching that kind of stuff sometimes. Phil Moore says Interstellar is my poo. Yes, Interstellar is also my poo. Anyway, final question. Here we go. Oh, that's right. In WandaVision, man, I'll talk about that later, maybe once other people have a chance to watch it. So anyway, let's just go. Question number 5, please.
Question number 5 is up now.
If you were to numerically add up all of the Galaxy S21 Ultra's rear camera megapixels, how many megapixels would you have? And then also divide that by how much wood a woodchuck could chuck, if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Little addition for everyone. Math equation.
Little addition. So we have to think, there's a 108 megapixel camera, a 12 megapixel camera. Let's see here. We're gonna go through. I'm looking for 140. Alexander has the right answer, but he's already won. So we're gonna go with Eddie Daniels with the correct answer of 140 megapixels. And then, as a note to Noetic Lightning, you were at the same time as Eddie, but Eddie's came in right before yours. So, Eddie Daniels, congratulations. You are our final winner. And hey, look at that donation coming through. Charles, PC, $5 to an awesome 2021 with the Droid Life Show. Oh,
Charles, good to see you again. It's been a long time.
Hope you're doing well, man. Stay safe out there.
Well.
Oh, so we've got some winners: Zachary Webb, Chris Williams, Alexander, Brandon Johnson, Eddie Daniels. If you haven't already won before, please email me and we'll get you your Google Play credit just as quick as humanly possible.
Email Tim now.
Yeah. Hope everyone's enjoying their prizes from the holiday show. Everyone should have received their prizes by now, I would think.
Everyone should have them by now, I hope.
Woo. If you don't, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Eddie, we missed you as well. Missed everyone. It seriously has been a month. I looked when I was like, yeah, we're doing a show tomorrow. Cool. And I looked when the last one was, because I use them as templates sometimes to get the next one going. I was like, oh wow, it's been a month. It's been a while. We had a couple of holiday weeks in it. Like we did that show, and then it was Christmas week, New Year's week, and then last week there was just nothing going on, and we knew we were gonna do a show this week. I just didn't want to do here's all the Galaxy S21 rumors show. Those are not, I don't think, entertaining. And unless you guys think those are entertaining, we could try to do those at some point again. But anyway, yeah. Okay. So we'll have S21s in-house someday. I don't know when. We're those people like you where we go, hopefully our order ships early. We get excited. We're like, it printed a shipping label. Let's go. And then meanwhile, you guys have watched and read reviews from everyone else. So stick with us. We appreciate it.
So frustrating, guys. Very frustrating. But yeah, thanks for hanging in there with us. We're gonna bring you some real feelings. We're not held back by, we're not afraid to bite the hand that feeds, right?
It doesn't feed us, so.
Exactly. So we're going to keep it real, and we will continue to keep it real.
As if we haven't. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Anyway.
Whatever.
Stupid.
All right, guys. So yeah, apologies that there isn't like hands-on coverage. We will have it soon enough someday. But thanks for joining us. It's good to see everyone. It's good to be back. Ben says, did you watch Wonder Woman 1984?
Yeah, unfortunately I did.
Yeah, unfortunately I did too, yeah.
That movie was not even close to what the original was. Like the original was a good flick.
It was a good
This
flick.
one
was
all she did was talk to him. Like that was a bad movie.
It was a bad movie. It was a bad movie. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we're all on the same page here that Wonder Woman 84 was trash.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll let you know if we do a show next week. Maybe we'll have the phones by then early. I have no idea. We will do plenty of shows though soon because we'll have phones. It's a new year. There's stuff going on. So thanks for joining us. Stay safe out there. Enjoy life.
Peace.